what we have here is a sample of a butt joint, a dowel butt joint, and we're going to reproduce exactly what we have here, all those holes in line, and we're going to come down the depth here of the thickness of this timber, which will be about 35 mil, and we just place a little pencil line in the corner there, grabbing a tri-square and just running a line across that point there, and that's going to be the bottom part of the rail. Now we want to do a center line through there, and we get a marking gauge, and we set the marking gauge to half the width of that leg, which will be 17.5 mil. And so we set that exactly to 17.5 mil, tighten up the little nut, just check it to see whether it is 17.5 mil. If it's correct, retighten it again, place the marking gauge up against the face there, and just drag it across, not below that line, but just before that line, right across to the top. And that's going to be our center line. Just run a pencil line through the groove so you can actually see it. It's easy to actually see that, place a pencil line in there. And then we need to come down 10 mil for, this is where the dowels are going to go, and 10 mil from the bottom. Just place a little pencil line there, and that's, if we just use a tri-square and just run it across there, that's going to be where those 2 points run across that middle line will be exactly where the dowels go. Now we need to actually do the same thing on this side, but on the end of this piece of timber, and we're going to come 17.5 mil again, and we just again place it against the edge there and just run it across the top end there, straight across, pencil line again. And now we need to place it up against the other piece of timber, just make sure it's flush against the top there, exactly, and just place a little pencil line either side there, making sure it's exactly the same. Then we get a square and square across those 2 points. Same on this side, just making sure that you get the square, make sure it is hard up against that edge, there's no gap there, and just put a pencil line. Now those 2 points, those marks for those holes should line up exactly now. Now we need to drill those holes using a horizontal drill here. Place the drill into the chuck, tighten it, make sure it is tight, because you don't want that drill to fly out. And we need to put the cover over so you don't get your hands caught in there or your hair caught in there. That's the start button and the stop button, which is most important when using this, just in case something happens. We need safety gear here, which is safety glasses, earmuffs, every time that you use this equipment. Now this wheel here adjusts the table up and down. So this is going to be needed when we actually drill the holes for these leg dowel joints. Now the dowel joints are 50 mil long, and so we need to drill these holes about 27 mil in length or depth. So we set the drill to 27 mil, which we've got on there. We're going to adjust it, just undo the little screw, adjust that to the 27 mil. Once you've got it exactly right. Okay, once we've set that, we need to now drill into this piece of timber right onto that middle line, and we can just push it up against the timber and just visually see whether it's in the center of that line. If it's correct, then we can go forward and drill into that piece of timber. When you drill, just make sure that you blow a lot of that material away, otherwise it gets stuck underneath the piece of timber, and your holes won't be lined up exactly where you want them to be. Just make sure when you drill through here that your fingers are not in a right behind the drill, so if it slips, you're not going to get caught. Once you've drilled those 2 holes there, they should be exactly in line. There shouldn't be different heights. And we do the same with the end grain, the end rail. Just place it in, push it in right to the depth that we want of 27 mil. They're all nicely lined up. Now when you put those together, that dowel butt joint should match to the top there and to the sides with no lip, and that's the finish of the butt joint.